My name is Alyssa Katz, and I'm the author of Our Lot, How Real Estate Came to Own Us. And Our Lot is the story of how the real estate bubble happened. And it wasn't that investment bankers on Wall Street woke up one day and decided that they were going to sell risky loans to borrowers who couldn't pay them back. This is a product of years of deliberate decisions in Washington as well as on Wall Street to set up a real estate finance market that would potentially make every American into a homeowner, and really put very, very few limits on that. So this is the story of how that happened, and then how the real estate bubble transformed not just our economy, but the places where we live and how all of us live. It was very deliberately cultivated by political leaders, by culture, and by individuals, by all of us. I know I went through it, and I talk about that in the book, and to aspire to owning property as something that would be liberating, an achievement, something that would show that we'd really arrived, right? And what people are, of course, discovering now is that home ownership is as much a burden and a terrible, crushing obligation as it is something that would really help elevate our lives. In fact, they either didn't know or pretended not to know. One of the main forces behind this crisis right now is that much of the data that fed into these calculations about the value of mortgage-backed securities was just bad. And my book goes into great depth about how that bad data sort of systematically got generated by everyone from real estate appraisers to mortgage brokers and a lot of different players up and down the line on the process. So there were certainly ways in which the mortgage-backed securities kind of built-in ways to manage the risks that they knew about. They basically would rank investors based on how much risk they were willing to take, whether they would want to get paid back right away, which is less risky, or wait at the end of the line, at which point there's a greater chance that they wouldn't get paid back in full on a 30-year mortgage. So in a way, subprime securities kind of built in a way of dealing with that risk, but mostly it was just denial. My hope in this situation is certainly that the investors in the securities and the banks themselves, when they own the loans directly, which they often do, will see that it's in their best interest to work things out with borrowers, to either do a loan modification that in fact is manageable for them, agree to what's known as a short sale so that they can, borrower can get out and move on even if they're selling for less than the property is worth or the mortgage was for, to do other things that will really help.